Hello everyone, this is Dr.S.Sobana, Assistant Professor of English, the Standard Fireworks Rajaratnam College for Women, Sivagasi. Welcome to this video. Today we are going to see a detailed analysis of the historical novel The Boy in the Striped Pyjama, written by John Boyne, and it was published by John Boyne and David Fickling in 2006, and later it was become a motion picture in 2008. Yes. Let me see the title. The title itself is self-explanatory. It picturizes our curiosity and it gives a detailed interest to dwell into the storyline and understand the link between the boy and the striped pajama. Now, and it also gives us another title named as The Mystery of the Other Side of the Fence. So before getting deep dive into the storyline, let me have the core context of the story. The story narrates from a moral point and it encounters as authentic take place in a historical time, place during the World War. It gives an authentic detail of the Second World War and the concentration camp and the Holocaust. It also portrays the discrimination of the cruel side of the human and the innocence of the child. So throughout the story we can get a little bit and a whole message as a moral point from the author. Now let me dwell and see a gist of the author. The author John Boyne, born in Dublin and studied English literature in Trinity College and then get an award called Curse Brown Prize, and then he had published total 9 fictions for the young adults and 5 for younger kids, and specifically The Boy in the Striped Pyjama was become the bestseller in New York Times, and then it becomes the novel fiction was sold 6 million copies in worldwide. Now let me see the setting of the novel. The first half of the novel sets in Berlin and then it sets in the Outwich. It is named at Outwich, but throughout the novel we can see that it is enabled and pronounced at Outwith, O-U-T-W-I-T-H. Okay. After the setting, let me see the character. So we have main characters and minor characters. The main characters are Bruno. He is the protagonist who is perspective of 9-year-old. And then we have Bruno's mother Merlin, Bruno's mother Elsa, Bruno's father Raphael, and Bruno's elder sister Gretel. And the Jewish boy who is around the same age of Bruno is Samuel. Then we have the minor characters called Lieutenant Kotler, Maria the maid, and Pavel the doctor, the Jewish doctor. Okay, now we have seen the characters. Now let me dwell into the story plot. The Boy in the Striped Pyjama is a historical dramatic novel which is set during the Second World War when Hitler, who is known as the Führer, dominated Germany and created concentration camp all over the Europe. This book clearly depicts the victim of Holocaust, which uses imaginary people to represent the archetypes that happened during the World War, especially during the World War II. Now I had given you enough background. Let us look into the plot of the story. Bruno, the main protagonist of the story, is a young boy aged 9 who lives with his mother Elsa and father Raphael and his sister Gretel in Berlin. Suddenly, because of his dad's job, which is unknown at the beginning of the story, they have to move to Poland. Bruno is now upset to learn that his family must leave uncomfortable home in Berlin. He is almost in tears at the prospect of leaving his best friend for life. The best friends are Daniel, Karl, and Martin. Bruno's mother Elsa arranged an evening farewell and a promoted party for her husband. In the party, we can see that Adolf Hitler was also present, whose title, as I said you earlier, Führer, Bruno commonly mispronounced the Führer as Fury. Bruno's father, Raphael, is now promoted to as a commandant of the death camp in Outwich. which Bruno mispronounced as out with. And now they have shifted to Poland, that is out with, in their new house, which is not very nice as Berlin. But there is something out of Bruno's bedroom window which is very intriguing, something on the other side of the fence. He can see some soldiers, all of them have something in common, that is they all wear the same striped pajamas. In the story, one day Bruno decided to explore the wire fence surrounding the camp. He sees people in striped pajama who lived in hut on the other side of barbed wire fence. These people are treated cruelly by such as the static Lieutenant Coulter, on whom Bruno's sisters develop a little crush. Bruno's fall off a tire swing, Pavel, the servant maid, the Jewish, rescue the boy and give medical aid. Then only Bruno finds that Pavel is a doctor and wonder why he is now acting as a servant in their house. Now Bruno meets a Jewish boy named Samuel, just like his age, who becomes from the other side of the fence. The two becomes friends and every afternoon they meet. They sit down and they talk. Though the barbed wire fence of the camp separate them, the boys begin a forbidden friendship. Bruno does not know that Samuel is a prisoner of the concentration camp that had seen from his window, and that his father is a commandant of the camp, and that he works every day for Hitler. Nearly every day, unless it is raining, Bruno goes to see Samuel and seek him some food. Over time, Bruno noticed that Samuel is rapidly losing weight. Bruno and the boy Samuel quickly form a beautiful friendship. Bruno cannot understand why people in striped pajama are living on the other side of the fence. One day, Bruno is surprised to find that Samuel is in his home in his kitchen polishing the glasses. Samuel explained that Lieutenant Coulter brought him to do the job because of his tiny fingers. Now, Bruno offers some snacks to Samuel, but unfortunately Coulter appears and accuses Samuel to steal off the food. When Samuel explained that his friend Bruno gave it to him, Coulter immediately asked Bruno, but at the time Bruno got afraid and he refused the truth. As a result, Coulter later punished Samuel very severely. After Bruno's mother conceived her husband to allow her, the children, to return to Berlin, Bruno now promises to help Samuel locate his missing father before he leaves. So one day, Bruno, who loves to exploring things, decides to help Samuel to find his papa, who has suddenly disappeared. Bruno came up with a plan with Samuel to seek into the camp to look for Samuel's brother, who has gone missing. Samuel brings a set of prison coats, that is striped dresses, and Bruno leaves his own clothes outside of the fence and crawl under the fence. He goes on the other side of the fence where he can see Samuel without any physical separation between them. As they search, the rain starts, the camp, they are captured, and they are added to the group of prisoners on a march and led them into a gas chamber, which Bruno assumes is a simple rain shelter. Bruno is applauded as he sees and decides to return home, but he is unable to go back. In the gas chamber, Bruno apologizes to Samuel for not finding his father and tells Samuel that he is his best friend for life. As Samuel answers before the door closes and the light goes out, although Bruno determines to never let go of Samuel's hand. Bruno is never seen again, his clothes being discovered by a soldier day after. His mother Elsa spent months searching for him, even returning to their old home, before at last moving back to Berlin with Gretel, who isolated herself in her own room. Raphael spent a year more at Auschwitz, becoming ruthless and cold to his subordinates. A year later, he returned to the place where once he found Bruno's clothes were found, finding the gap in the fence. He deduces how his son disappeared and collapsed to the ground in grief. Months later, Allied troops liberate the camp and Raphael, wracked with guilt and self-loathing, allowing himself to be taken prisoner without resistance. This novel, The Boy in the Striped Pajama, ends with a beautiful phrase that is within quote, I quote, "Of course, all of this happened a long time ago and nothing like that could ever happen again. Nothing in this day and age," I unquote. So, through this storyline, through this fictional historical novel, we can come with various themes. That is, a theme is usually something that reader can relate to. The major themes in the fiction novel are the innocence of the childhood, the desire for friendship, the value of humanity, and discrimination, which include ignorance, exclusion, threats, violence, and boundaries. Other than these major themes, the author also tried to depict self-honesty, the guilt caused by silence, love, compassion, also consider a minor themes in this novel. Now, the book. Let me see the symbolism which the book depicts and picturizes us. The whole novel is a symbolic representation because they are the visible sign of invisible realities. For example, the stripes in the pajamas that the prisoners wear represent the fence. The fence also stands between the friendship of Bruno and Samuel. The prisoners march in the straight line. Stripes in the pajama are also straight line, indicates that the stripe in the pajama are also the straight lines. Bruno, in his last moments, wear striped pajamas. He and his friends died together wearing the striped pajamas. Now, let me see the reviews and the evaluating of the book. The Boy in the Striped Pajama, while is a sad story, is a story worth reading. It inspires the reader to think about the Nazi and how terrible wrong they are. The bond formed between the boys demonstrating the heart and Jew must have felt when their own friends and family were mercilessly killed. In the novel is puffy and light at the beginning and heart-wrenching at the end. It is perfectly balanced. I personally think that this historical novel is a very good book for everyone to read because it is a simple, powerful and engaging novel that pulls off the tricks of being both important and highly readable. History repeats itself because for those who are unwilling to learn, the books aim at to educate the readers so that these kinds of tragedy doesn't occur in the future. Now, I hope that I have got a little bit piece of knowledge and understanding to this novel, The Boy in the Striped Pajama, and I conclude my speech by telling that keep learning and keep growing. Thank you.